another live show on the Arnold Stars podcast. I am your host, Arnold Lewis. I help athletes prepare mentally for a life of overseas basketball. If this is your first time tuning in with me, glad to have you here. Glad to see you're excited about just the journey of what it takes to become a high level, high thinking individual. We focus on developing ourselves so we can develop our life. Every step, every moment, every walk, everything that we do in life is in a development stage of what comes next. Each step forward is dedicated to where we want to be. So if you take steps in the right direction of the things that help you get to your goal, you're going to get there one day or ultimately. If you take steps away from things that help you get to your goal, ultimately you're not going to get there either. So here on this channel, what I try to do is just give you a perspective of a pro who's been 12 years in the game. I'm in my 12th season. I'm in the off season, or going into my 12th season as a pro. And I am just giving back everything that has ever came to me. Because sometimes I may believe that, even though I'm not, even though it may seem to me sometimes that it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal that I come and share my experiences, but I wish I had someone that I could have shared my experiences with. I'm trying to go live on TikTok, it seems, but I'm not even gonna get started on that. However, I'm just giving back all my experiences of everything that has ever happened to me in my career, in my life, and all the things that happened for me. Because no one ever sat me down and gave me over 2,000 videos worth of just information about the overseas life. Even if I didn't even take it all in at one time, if I would have just constantly see the content, something would have stuck. Something would have got embedded into my brain that would have ultimately helped me. Like you've just seen a reel. Sometimes a 1 minute reel, 30-second reel can actually help a person out in their life a lot more than we realize. And I didn't have that because social media wasn't that big when I was coming up. When I was in college, they were starting to do Instagram, and Instagram was just pictures back then. It was just pictures back then. It wasn't the same thing as it is now. Now social media is where everybody go to get information, where people go to learn. You can learn everything from someone just by listening to their reels and just following their page, just by what people do and the information that they give. Y'all, I'm struggling right now. I'm struggling right now to get my TikTok functioning right now. Why does it always seem when you try to do something progressive, it's always some type of sources that are trying to prevent you from doing that? Know that is a sign of you are on the right direction. Know that that is a testing of exactly good things are coming in your life. Because the more pushback you have, the better. And I'm telling you, right now, I'm having a lot of pushback on a lot of cases. As of like right now. And it is not fun, ladies and gentlemen. It is not fun at all. That is amazing. I've never had so much technical difficulties all happening at one time, but guess what? That's life. That's life. But we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep going through it all. Today's topic, we're going to be going over relationships. If you made it this far, that means you're really interested and you were able to deal with all the nonsense that I was just able to deal with right there. But guess what? We keep pushing, we keep grinding. Relationships overseas, dating abroad versus dating in America. The truth behind overseas basketball. And I didn't want to jump on like the mainstream side and just get on here and talk about, oh, relationships this and who has the best females and stuff like that. Probably I'll talk about that when I'm with one of my homeboys and I get on one of the show. But just some things we're going to go over today, like which one is really better. What is better, dating overseas or dating in America? Western relationships or typical relationships of the overseas. I can speak of an athletes in the overseas nature because guess what? I play basketball overseas. And there's a lot of complications and things that it's not that it's not that easy to deal with. It's not that easy to deal with because you go in with a different expectation. And I can only speak of myself. Starting from once I was younger, 23, 24, dating overseas to now I'm 35. So I have just a whole different mindset over the whole aspect of it all. I think many players think dating is like, I wouldn't say romantic, but they think it's exciting. It's exciting for a lot of players overseas to it's exciting for a lot of players overseas to want to date overseas because it's like it's the ethnicity of a Argentinian or a Japanese or a Filipino or Australian or whatever. It's just this different concept. It's just something different. At the end of the day, especially for a man and a woman aspect, there's just the variety of something different from where you're at all the time. It's like if you're eating chicken all day. You ate chicken all day, all the time, no matter what. Same grilled chicken every day, 20 years. And somebody offer you some fried fish. You gonna try that? You don't want to be probably enticed to try that fried fish because you ain't know what it tastes like. It's just different. And that's exciting. Different is exciting and scary at the same time, but it is exciting in this aspect. Because most times when guys go overseas, the first thing they're thinking about is, stepping out, seeing what the women are like in these areas and in these countries. Like, how are the women? Are they the same as they are in America, or are they different? Does it vary? Do they act the same? Or their mindset the same? Do they have the same issues that one is accustomed to from wherever they are at? American, Western. I think this is like the worst. I wouldn't advise anybody coming in from overseas that's coming to America to try to date women here. I wouldn't advise. Maybe it's because I'm in Florida. And I'm not talking about dating anyone. I'm just saying, from the last after COVID, after the pandemic, after that, it's like things just started changing. And I started realizing it more going overseas and coming back in the response that I got from the women and the culture. It's like I was walking into a culture shift. Some of the places I used to hang out with and go step to maybe a bar or hang out or something like that, it's not the same vibe anymore because the people are different, because I'm not in the same era anymore. You know what I mean? So like nice bar that I used to like to go to, I don't go there no more. And it's just showing, like, to me, it's just like the different culture and the different people. And when I'm overseas, it's so different. Paul Pierce said on his podcast the other day, if you want to be, if you're in America, you got to be, if you want to find a relationship in America, it's like you got to be rich, or if you want a relationship, you got to go overseas to get a relationship. And I know what he's talking about because I primarily spent majority of I spent my entire career playing and interacting overseas and had relationships. I was married overseas, hell. So I know all about it. I know firsthand experience from someone that married someone overseas. My ex-wife is from Colombia. I married her in Colombia. My daughter was born in Colombia. They're both now here in America. My daughter's with me as we speak right now. And so I know about the relationships, and I wish somebody would have gave me just a little bit more advice before I just jumped head into this and not realize what I was getting myself into. Some people just told me all of the pros and cons to the decisions of what I was doing. At the time, I wouldn't say it was a bad. I try to live my life now by no regrets. So I won't deem it bad or good. I deem it as a decision that was made in my life. And I hold no regrets to any decisions that I have made in my life because I can no longer change them. I can only live, adapt, move on, and learn from every decision that I've ever made, including that one. And what I've learned in that time, it wasn't really a bad decision of what I was trying to do at the time. So here's the situation. I was overseas, met a girl, me and the girl started dating. I left, went home. I came back to the same country again, met up with the same girl again. We were together for a while. The first time I was there, it was a bad situation. She helped me out a lot. She helped me out a lot. Okay, so basically this is how it all started. I'll give y'all my thoughts and process on my situation on how I got involved overseas, and then we can go into the comparison between the difference between the women in America and women overseas. Now in this situation, it didn't matter because she had a Western mindset, so it was still it was like dating someone from America for worse. Honestly, I ain't here to pass no judgments. I'm just saying. Long story short, I went to my first team in Colombia. She was working for the team as a translator because her dad owned the team. We kind of just bucked heads for a while, and then when two people are young and they fight, that's just emotion. When two people are fighting, you're just emotional. And women love emotion because happy, sad, mad, glad, it's just all emotion. It's all emotion. And me being 24 years old, I'm all hyper strong emotion as well, and just all over the place. So in that being, we end up bumping heads and end up hitting it off and being together, and all this situation, the whole team basically crumbled apart. Her dad was pretty much like a foul owner. I don't think they ever seen him after that. That's how crazy the situation was. He dipped off. He didn't buy our ticket home. We were stuck inside this one bedroom. It was not one bedroom. It was one room house, 2-bedroom house, and then one room there was 12 bunk beds. And we all had to, all the guys who were still there, it was 8 of us, we all had to share these bunk beds, and there was another room where a couple guys, everybody just split up in one apartment because they couldn't afford the other apartments, and we were basically just stranded out there. We wasn't going to practice anymore, we would just show up on the game days. It was crazy. It was crazy. And she helped me out because we were talking and got closer, and she was helping me out. And when I went to the capital, she was helping me out, giving me a place to stay, letting her homeboy look out for me, giving me a place to stay, looking out for me. Because you gotta think about it, we was there for 3 months. They gave me my first month's check, half of it. I was supposed to get $3,000 a month. They gave me half of my check. They gave me half of my check for the first month. I used that money to fly back home because I was on probation for a DUI I got in college. And they said if I didn't take the driver's class. So I don't know what the class name is, but if I didn't take the driver's anonymous class, I would have a warrant out for my arrest, and I didn't. If I didn't do this before a certain date, so I flew back to Atlanta, did the class, flew back to Colombia. So now I just exhausted all my money because in my head I still needed to play and I still wanted to do this because I wanted to pursue my basketball career still. You know what I mean? Young. End up being like I should have just stayed home, but end up being a good situation for me because I end up getting a job. So she helped me with that situation because I came back, finished out the season. The next following season, I got on a team in her city, which was actually the team I wanted to go to. Got on a team in her city. We ended up linking back up. Started dating ever since. I got signed to another team in Colombia, and I ended up staying with her instead of going home, which was the worst decision. Not the worst decision, was one of the decisions I should not have done in that moment that I learned from, because once you overstay your welcome, till this day, I can't go back into Colombia without a visa because I overstayed that one time and they got me like on a ban list or a visa list. I no longer can enter freely. I gotta have a visa to enter into Colombia. And this, I realized this after I went back. I tried to go back. I got a job. Somebody hit me up for a job to come play for like a month. And it was like 8 years later. And I came back and they still had me on the same ban list, which is crazy. New passport, new everything. I guess my name in that system just was not valid. It just was not valid. So that was one decision I just had to learn. I say all I had to say is I met her overseas. And the reason I got married to her is because I overstayed. In order for me to leave, I had to prove why I stayed in the country. And our idea was we get married. I'm her legally husband. So technically, she can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't get in trouble because I'm legally married to someone here and da 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 da. Still didn't work. I got deported and I wasn't even in the country. See how these other countries work? You don't even realize. They just say, I got contacted. I tried to go back. I went to Chile after that. Finished. I did the whole season. We won the championship. She went back because she got pregnant back to Colombia. I tried to come back. To Colombia and they stopped me at the gate and would not let me in. They dang near wanted to arrest me because they said, we deported you. We deported you on January 1st. Now, January 1st is my birthday. I think I know where I was at on my birthday. And they were like, yeah, you came here and we deported you. I said, bro, how? How? You know, like, no, let me look at your passport. Look at my passport. Please look at my passport and tell me, how can I be in two places at once? How could y'all deport me from here on January 1st? They said we notified you by email. What email? Y'all don't even have an email on file for me. But you notified me by email and y'all stamped my passport and say that I was deported from here with no proof. There's no stamp in my passport. There's no email on record for me. But y'all did all these things. So this is the type of things when you make certain decisions that lead to other decisions in your life. All based on trying to make a relationship work in a whole other situation that you're not even used to and accustomed to. That's just the beginning of my situation, my overseas situation with the relationship that I have. That was only the first topic. Does overseas dating make you more independent or more isolated? Does overseas experience make you more independent or more isolated? I guess it depends on the mindset of the person. It definitely depends on the mindset of the person. I specifically remember one time I was overseas and now that I'm asking these questions, I'm going back onto all my relationships when I was overseas and realize the difficulty. I'm going to be straight up and just say, like, me personally, I do This is going to be wild because I'm actually in an overseas relationship right now. I don't know if overseas relationships truly ever work. They can. They 100% can. However, in order for them to work, this is okay, there are special cases for them to work. They will work when you have enough money to make sure you can accommodate for the lack of that there is. What is the lack? The lack is the time spent with the individual in whom you are in partnership with. If you're a partner or wherever you're dating or married, it's I guess it's a little bit different from marriage, but it still is. It's still the same with marriage. It's still the same with marriage because I specifically remember speaking with one of my old teammates, and we were all just talking. He was just talking about what he do overseas and how he move around, and she started talking about how this guy from work. She always talking about this guy from work, man. And me and my homeboy, like me and my other team, we were all talking. I had to keep it real. We kept it real with him. Like, bro, you know she messing around with old dude. It's just a big part of all this is just being. Let's just be real about it all. Like, you just got to be real about the whole situation of a man and situations. And I hate to dive in and tap in on this, but you just got to be real about the situation. Most men, okay, and that brings to the next part, the exotic athlete effect. The exotic athlete effect is basketball players, guys, black guys, even white guys, mostly you're a fit athletic individual, go overseas and you're in such a different environment that people revere you, they love you, they're looking at you how you looking at them. Because for instance, in Latin America, everybody always talk about the Latin mommies, Latinas, Colombians, Boricas, Venezuelans. Everybody always have. It's like a pride and like what's the word? It's like an exotic thing to be with one of these type of individuals from a different culture because they're not from America. They're Chilean. They're Puerto Rican. Okay. When you go over there, there's not too many of you. And I mean extremely not that many of you. I've been in cities where I've been to like there's maybe 2 black people in the whole city. 2 black people in the whole city. That's what they mean by the exotic effect. You are a diamond in the rough, basically. Everybody wants the diamond. Everybody wants a diamond because you're different, you're athletic, you're fit, you're a star. If your team's good, you're a star, you're actually somebody. And then on top of that, you're not just a logo, you don't look like everybody else. You're different. I get it. I hear this all the time. Your skin is different. It feels different. My skin feels different. Word. That's what we doing. It's all fantasy. And I realized that when an ex that I had, she said that. She was like, you're exotic to me. And it clicked in my head like, wow, I never saw myself like that to someone else because of, in America, especially in Florida, because Florida is just like a melting pot of everybody. Everybody thinks they're the best looking. Everybody thinks they're a star. Every girl with leggings thinks she deserves to have it's like, it baffles me, honestly. Like it really baffles me, honestly, the entitlement that women in America, I don't know if it's just in America, but in Florida especially, I can specifically speak on Florida because I live here all my life. And like I said, after the pandemic is when everything started changing. And women's, I don't know when did we get into this area of leggings and butt area. And everybody's like feeling like they really feel like I'm somebody because I got a butt. Because I can bend over in some leggings. I'm worth more than you. It's I'm better than you attitude, which is wild. The I'm better than you attitude. I don't understand where that comes from because I spent a lot of my time overseas, and I'm dealing with the exotic effect. I'm dealing with trying to stay focused and not get lost in being overly wanted because other people see your value more than the people where you're from. So you know how that saying, it'd be like, go where you're wanted. Well, a lot of guys, when you leave and you go out of the country and you're playing, or not even playing basketball, but you leave and you go out of the country and you realize how big the world is, how much different the mindset of the people really are and how they look at you compared to what you're used to, especially in America, because Americans look at their people a certain way. You're taught to treat the people a certain way through social media, through just mainly through social media, mainly through social programming, and it's always shown like, I'm talking about any girl or any type of shape feel like they're top number one. And most guys literally are just like stuck in a mode of, I can't say most guys, I can say most guys are guys who play basketball and go through the things that I go through, they will understand what I'm saying because I feel like I'm a fairly decent individual. Overseas, I feel like I get treated like who I believe I am when I step out of America. I get looked at here as if you've already made it, you're good, so I'm not gonna worry about you because you're above me and I can tell, and I'm not even gonna waste my time even giving you the time of day. It's a weird concept. And I thought of this before, but until someone else explained the same thing to me, it's like, you just reach a different level in the way you think and how you act and how you move, that the way the people are moving around here, literally your energy repels that. Because most people are not accepting of someone who does work on themselves, take care of themselves, have something going for themselves, because they're intimidated by that. They're intimidated by someone saying, you know what, I bring value because of this. I am this because of that. I actually have real value that I give to the world and real value that I'm bringing to other people's lives, and I have real value in something that I'm building to help the world out. That can be intimidating to someone who is not doing anything. I wouldn't say not doing anything, but not really contributing to anything in that nature. That can be intimidating, especially to the other sex. But when you're overseas, they already know you're somebody. In China, anytime I go to China, it doesn't matter what I do. I don't have to be doing that. I can just be walking down the street. Somebody's gonna come up and excuse me. Somebody's gonna come up. They're gonna want to take a picture. I had somebody come up to me one time and hold it like a bottle of perfume and ask me to take a picture with it real quick so they can post it. I showed out. Like, okay, let me take this picture. All right, man. I'm just chilling at a little stop sign anyways. I'm sitting on the plane. Somebody just come sit beside me to take a picture. It's the love. I can't even lie. The love that I get overseas is just like dwarfed. It's like 100x compared to what I do to where I am in America. Like, people respect me. I'm not gonna say like people treat me bad or anything like that. But I'm talking about just as far as like a relationship. If we're talking relationship wise, or how women, and it's not even like it's like the men love you, women love you, everybody loves you. 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 And you come over here and nobody loves you. Where would you want to be? Who would you choose? You go to a place where everybody loves you, or you go to a place where everybody treats you like you're not better than You're not better. I won't say you're not better than me, but they feel like you're below them. Everything in life has a hierarchy. That's why you have parents and children. That's why you have bosses, assistants, managers, general managers. There is a hierarchy. In everything that has order that makes sense, there's a hierarchy. That someone has to be leading somebody. Someone has to be taking orders. Someone has to be executing the orders. Someone has to be playing their part in all relationships. Someone has to be playing their part. But imagine you're supposed to be the one leading and you're getting treated as if you're under the worker and you're the CEO. That's how it feels. Like, imagine Jeff Bezos dropping your package off. Imagine him in a truck, Amazon truck, driving to your house in this Florida weather of 100 degrees, dropping off packages, getting chased by dogs. It just don't make sense. That's just my thought process on it. It just don't make sense. So the exotic effect of when athletes go overseas and they are just, if you're not careful, you can get lost in the sauce. You can get lost in that mix of that type of lifestyle because it is a very crazy lifestyle and everything must be handled and maintained in its right order and right time. You cannot let yourself get lost because someone is showing you a little extra love. The women are going to show you extra love. That's just how it is. The women are going to show you extra love. And don't suffer. Some men, that's their vice. I was listening to a clip of Michael Porter Jr. saying, he was talking about the other guy, DeJounte Porter or something like that, who, I think that was his brother, who had the gambling, who got caught with gambling on the NBA game, and he played for Toronto. And he was like, my vice is women. You know, I get caught up and I lose my way and I feel like I'm not as close to God and I can't fight the temptation is when I let my vice get a hold of me, which is women. Now imagine you have a vice of women and you go into places where women are just literally, it's like, imagine a crack addict walks into a room and there's mountains of crack. You're going, it's over with for you. It's over with for you. It's over with for you. That's the same thing that happens when you go to these relationships or when you go overseas and you're trying to mess like being in different relationships and or be caught up in the lifeline, the life of. I'm not saying don't live and have your fun and do all. I'm just saying what it is. What it is if you got a vice for women, you might want to check yourself because. I'll give you a perfect example. I'll give you two examples. One example is Thailand. I went to Thailand and I was playing basketball there and I met this OG. This guy who's been playing for a long time. He was giving me like, we kicked it like every day. We was on the same team, we kicked it every day and we just always chop it up. And he played in Thailand before, a couple times. And he used to always say like most guys come out here, they either do well or they lose it all. Because the nightlife is too wild. The nightlife is so wild and you get lost and the guys come in here and lose their everything because they're too caught up in the craziness of the lifestyle. And that's something every athlete or person gotta really focus in. You can't let devices or so many people want you because you're in shape, fit basketball player and you lose all self-control and now you're caught up in the situation you don't want to be caught up in. Like keeping it a buck. And you're like, some guys come out here and lose it all. I've seen guys come out there and lose it all just because they're so focused on everything else. They're focusing on the life. They're focusing on this women, giving them all this attention. And I ain't no saint. And I ain't gonna say nothing I did, but I'm gonna just tell you about the other people that I know. Now, I ain't here for all that. I'm just saying what the relationship is and the statuses of relationships between overseas and America. And in America, they treat you like you ain't nothing. Overseas, they treat you like you a king. They treat you like you the CEO. They treat you like You him. That's facts. They acknowledge you for who you are. They don't look at you with this stagnant look of I'm better than you just because I got a curve in my butt. And y'all, and like the people who are really listening, they know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like that's why I go back to what Paul Pierce said. Like, yo, you want to those most women. I can speak for Florida, like in Florida, like that type of a woman and stuff like that. They're so lost in this world. It's like The Sims to me. It's like you're living in a sim world, and people are acting like it's just so fake. It's literally like the people who are on TikTok and they do the little like animation. You say something, they act. They just playing out like Ready Player One. It's a video game and everybody's just playing. They're just like the people that walk in circles and say blah blah blah, and everybody's dressed the same, and everybody say the same things, and everybody do the same thing. It's just like it's so generically watered down brand of type of just mindset. It's just so it's like you can't think for yourself. You're saying things. The amount of times I hear people, I can't stand. Oh, you're misogynistic, and it's like all these buzzwords that just randomly, you hate women, and this, and it literally be like, yo, spell it. Spell the word that you're calling someone just because you've heard it on an Instagram reel, and now you think that you're an expert in what basically a therapist is diagnosing someone. Now everybody's their own self-proclaimed therapist. Every woman is a self-proclaimed therapist and knows every type of stereotype of a guy that is out there right now. Come on, bro. What are we talking about? Now, the relationship that I had overseas with my ex-wife didn't work out. I had another relationship when I was with someone who I was with for about 2 years. Didn't work out. I went in another relationship for like 6 months. Didn't work out. Is that a common theme? Seems to me like it just matter. Dated someone that was from Australia for like 3 years. Didn't work out. Other than the first one, those other three or the other two, the one it was like 6 months. Wasn't really. I knew from after month two, after month one, I was like, nah, this ain't gonna work. I just strung it along, BSing around. But the other two that I was actually committed to, the 2 year one, the 3 year one, I understood the biggest thing that separated those two and it didn't work was the distance. One happened right before COVID, and the other one we just separated. Other people in a relationship, like for me, for example, basketball. I'm an athlete and I travel and I move around a lot, so I'm used to the separation. I'm used to leaving. I'm used to being gone for 10 months and not seeing my daughter for about a month in between that time. It's not easy. It's not for everybody. It's a path that I've decided to choose in my life, and I live by what comes with that. But not everybody's built to walk that path. One of the relationships is like I just don't think with it like I did. It's a separation. Basically, she was just like, I don't think that we have different thought processes, and I don't want you to think one way one day and then it changes. And I know these type of thoughts creep into a person's head because we haven't seen each other in 2 years. COVID happened. We hadn't seen each other in 2 years. So things happen. Things happen where you cannot get the end. You're not close to that energy being connected with a person. It happens. Understood. Exact same thing in the other relationship. Gone for months, and she was younger. Just could and used to being in a relationship with the people. Because most people, you gotta understand, like most people when they get in relationships with people, they're there with them every single day. It's like they're together, they're all the time, they're a phone call away, they're down the street. And it's cool. And it's like they're normal relationships or the people are next to each other. They're literally with each other or in close proximity. when you're dating a pro or overseas player, he might be in China one day, and then he might be in Argentina the next, and then he might be in Senegal the next, like all in the same year. That's a lot of traveling, that's a lot to deal with. And sometimes you can't go. And sometimes the bag is too big to just let pass by. Sometimes I gotta go get this money. I can't let this opportunity pass. Yeah, I ain't seen you in about 8 months, but they giving me $12K for these 2 months. $12K a month. You telling me I'm gonna just walk and let that pass by? I can't let that go. I can't let that pass by. They offering me 25 for the next 3 months. These 3 months they offering me 25K a month. I'm gonna let that go. I ain't seen you in about 7 months, 8 months. You're supposed to be coming home. You know we have plans to go do this and doing that. You want me to walk away from 25 bands a month for the next 3 months? You can't hold out to? That's the average situation. Not every, and a lot of times I'm not even gonna go that extreme. It'd be 5 bands. It'd be 7,000. I gotta go get that 7. Hey, they finna give me 7 month for the next month and a half, 7 this month, and prorate if we win. They're gonna give me a bonus. My homeboy was just in that situation. He was gone for 8 months. He had got an offer to go play in another country with a good team. They made it all the way to the final. He got a month and about 3 weeks, so he almost got about dang near. Bro, you talking about in a month and almost 2, in less than 2 months, you walk away with 21,000. You're gonna turn that down? Not 21, my fault, but $13,000. 12 bands in the next for a month and a half. You gonna say no to that? That's some of the things that goes into when you having these relationships overseas. Like, you got opportunities happen, and you just be like, how many of these opportunities am I let slip by? Because when you're in the game for so long, you realize the opportunities don't come by as much as you think they will. You're not getting that great contract every year after every great season. The great contracts just keep coming in and pouring. Some guys is like that, but on average, for the average player, it's not like that. It's not like that. Some American partners struggles with long distance when a player leaves for 8 to 10 months. Overseas dating might feel easier in the moment, but what happens when the contract ends and you move? Like I just said, what happens when the contract ends and you move countries? Your schedule, your travel, your training often comes before love. How committed to the game are you? Your schedule, travel, and training often comes before love. How committed to the game are you? Is your relationship more important than your basketball career? And it'd be crazy sometimes because your basketball career is the reason you even in a career or in a relationship with that person. Your basketball career is what led you to be in a relationship with the person that you're in, and it'd be your basketball career that takes you away from the person of the relationship that you're in. How about that? That's very common. That's very common. I've had someone, I'm not here to bad mouth or say nothing bad, but I had I was in a relationship with someone, they were like, oh, it's just basketball. And I was like, excuse me? It's what? You're literally in the apartment that's being paid for, that you're living and eating for free and getting everything you want because of just basketball. Don't disrespect the grind. Don't disrespect. See, these type of things happen. Just certain things you got to watch out for. So, being a pro, especially being a pro and trying to date in the States, I think it's too, a lot of pro basketball players get this stigma. A lot of this is brought into the new age by social media and like how athletes are portrayed, because a lot of times we never heard all these stories of how these players are doing this and this players. And a lot of times it'd be like, you be thinking it'd be a lot of pros, I ain't gonna lie. But it'd be pro basketball players, and you never used to really hear too much. You just always kind of guessed it. But now with social media, it's like all these stories, and it's just a projection of what a pro basketball player is in America, and they just have, it's just like a playboy. You're a playboy. I don't care what you say. You're a playboy. You're a playboy. You get girls. You get all the girls. You're good. You get all the attention, and you do this. So I'm not gonna mess with you. You're judged before you are judged. Off rip. And then be like, bruh, so what if I'm smart? So what if I'm intelligent? So what if I'm athletic? So what if I got something going on for myself? So what if I got money? Isn't that exactly the point of what I should be doing? But you get deemed, and then when dating in America, that you get looked at in a negative way for having all those things and becoming the man or woman that you worked hard to be. They will criticize you for that and judge you and overqualify you as an issue for doing what you're supposed to be doing, for being everything that you are asked to be and more. You're judged for it. You're too good. You're too fine. You got too much going on. But if I'm overseas, yeah, you're right. You too good. You too fine. You too smart. You too all this, and you. The only problem is you're not mine right now, and I want you. That's the difference. Now I see you, and I want you. Now we can do this the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. But you gonna be mine. You feel me? Like that's how they treat you. Now, why on earth would I want to be in a situation where I don't get treated like that? Now, I'm not saying, oh, praise me. Yes, no, I'm sorry. Praise me, treat me right, treat me with respect, treat me like I am who I am. If I'm like, treat me with the greatness that I know that I have in me. Don't downplay my greatness because you haven't tapped into yours. Don't try to dim my light because yours is burnt out. You feel me? And that's what I feel like. That's the nature and the concept of what most relationships in America is. It's like it's a constant fight and battle of trying to figure out and understand. Like it's a constant battle of who's better than who. Attention spans, girl. That's all I got for this episode. I can go on. And I'm not trying to downplay or talk about anybody or keep going back and forth like in a negative way, but it's interesting. It is interesting because it's very interesting to talk about the dynamics of relationships overseas, and I know firsthand. So, and majority, I could say almost every like what I can say is all. Even though I had some crazy relationships overseas, I'm about half an hour. My relationships overseas has been better than my relationships in America. Hands down, bar none. All of my relationships overseas have always been better than my relationships in America. But all my relationships overseas didn't work out. So I'm in limbo. Look, that's all I got for this episode, this segment, this live. I'm glad you was able to tune in. Share this out for anybody that's out there trying to play basketball, that's trying to play pro one day, that want to get their mindset right, that want to, tap in and just follow along the journey with us as we just continuously grow in our mindset and our thoughts and our actions and become better every single day and improving ourselves strictly, and not only left to great conversations that help us grow and ignite the thought process in our head that asks us the questions to ultimately get the answer that we seek. I appreciate everybody. I hope you all guys have a great week, rest of the week. And that's all I got. Till next time.